excited to finally be out and about exploring London. We had scheduled 7 days, a full week, to explore this amazing city. However, we both got sick. And now we only have 2 days to see how much we can fit in.
And what a perfect way to start than looking at one of the most iconic structures here in London in Big Ben. And we've also got the London Eye right behind me as well. London is obviously home to many famous sites, and even if you don't know anything about London, I'm sure you've played Monopoly, in which case many of the sites we'll be visiting will be very well known to you. We're going to try and hit up as many of the sites on the Monopoly board as we can in our 2 days.
Now we have made a few customizations to our Monopoly board, and we're now heading to somewhere a little bit more magical. And because we've come mid-September, we've come during the dark arts period, where there's a lot more information about the dark arts magic here, but also it's a bit more spooky, particularly in the Great Hall. So after watching a quick little film, we were then brought into the Great Hall, which is decked out in Halloween theming because of the dark arts. It is so cool. And these are the robes that baby 11-year-old Daniel Radcliffe wore in the first Harry Potter movie. Spent a little bit of time in there, and now we're in this kind of studio area with heaps of different sets from the film, such as the dormitory room that was built for the first movie. Plenty of other cool things, like the invisibility cloak, and the stairwell up to Dumbledore's office. Guys, I've been summoned by a Death Eater. Do you guys see what I see? It's Ted! Did you guys know that we're both in the Harry Potter movies as a portrait? I'll show you. Hey Stacey, what did you see when you looked in the mirror?
1,000 subscribers.
Subscribe! Guys, we have now made it into Dumbledore's office. We can see the 2 different types of outfits the 2 different actors wore as Dumbledore. And if you look closely in there, you can even see the sword of Gryffindor as well as the sorting hat, which is pretty cool. We just had a look at the animal actors board, and I'm actually really surprised at how many animals were used just for one character. Like Fang, I think I counted 9 dogs were used as Fang, which is really, really interesting, and a lot of them were rescue dogs. So far this has been really cool. Obviously seeing the sets is really, really interesting, but what I've really liked seeing is the tiny little like special effects and working out how they work. Alright, I think things are about to get a little bit more spooky. Guys, I've just found Buckbeak. It's only polite. And he completely ignored me. That hurt, Buckbeak. That hurt. I told Aragog that I was getting out the raid and he retreated. I've just learned that the Patronus spell was actually a live Scottish deerhound wearing this kind of glowing suit. And of course they have everybody's favourite photo op. Guys, walking next to the Hogwarts Express just takes me back to Universal in Orlando. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll put them up here. It was a good time.
It's dropped a few degrees here, but we've made it to the back lot, which is some of the exterior sets of Harry Potter. It's also about the halfway point of the tour, so there is a cafe where you can get something to eat. And of course, you can't come to any sort of Harry Potter themed place without getting a butterbeer.
Dave, say to the camera what you just said to me, that little like the bit that you did.
You know, there's one thing that we have, Voldemort doesn't have. Friendship.
Is that an actual scene in the movies? Let me know. I know that it's not. We are now walking through Gringotts Bank. Again, It's just bringing me back to Universal in Florida.
Hang on a second. If that is the real Hufflepuff cup, that means we didn't destroy all the Horcruxes.
Don't worry guys, we found the Gryffindor sword. Stacey's gonna destroy the Horcrux.
I can be your hero, baby.
Guys, each set and each room is just as cool as the next. We are now in Diagon Alley. Look, it's the Nimbus 2000. And as we near the end of our tour here at the Harry Potter Studios, we see this giant model of Hogwarts, everybody's home. And they actually use this model of Hogwarts for a lot of the exterior shots in the movies in combination with some green screens, and the way that they demonstrate how they did that is so cool. Something amazing. It's a giant IKEA bag. What do you think? It's pretty cool. Now you will find that ginormous IKEA bag on Oxford Street, along with plenty of shops if you are a shopper. We are shoppers. We just don't have any money to spend because budget. But now we're walking along Oxford Street towards Hyde Park. As you guys can see, we have made it to Hyde Park. It is incredibly windy today. I'm not sure if you can hear me. We're getting blown away with the birds, but the goal is to walk from this side of the park to the other side. I think we're gonna see a lake on the way and potentially a palace. London, baby!
And in Hyde Park you will find a memorial. It's like a memorial fountain to Princess Diana, which is very beautiful. It's nice and quiet here in the park. I believe also just across the way there's also a Peter Pan statue. I'm not sure we'll make it across there today, but we're going to keep venturing onwards towards Kensington Palace.
Well guys, that was a successful walk through Hyde Park because we've made it to Kensington Palace. I will say that the Hyde Gardens are much bigger than I thought they were. Do not underestimate how big they are. It is a lengthy walk. We have jumped off the Monopoly board for this next stop, Buckingham Palace. It's a relatively large palace. You might have heard of it. Probably like a third of the size of me and Stacey's apartment.
It's pretty beautiful. Fortunately, King nowhere to be seen. Rumour has it he's in Paris. You know, we went looking for him, he went looking for us. We just missed each other, but we are here. No changing of the guards today. It is, I think he said Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's Thursday, but it's still pretty cool to see. Very crowded, but I imagine it'll be a lot more crowded when the changing of the guard does happen.
Technically we did see a changing of the guard today because of course the guards do need to be changed more frequently than every two days or so. But what Stacey's referring to is the big ceremony of the changing of the guard. I believe there's music. It's a big deal and it happens outside the grounds, I think. As you can see guys, I almost just got arrested for being so beautiful. Alright, bye bye to Buckingham Palace. We're jumping back onto the Monopoly board now, making our way to Trafalgar Square. We have made it to Trafalgar Square, as you can see with those very recognisable lions behind me and the National Gallery right there. This square is huge. It's massive. And we're quickly jumping back onto our little Monopoly board and heading to Leicester Square.
Guys, we're walking now to our next stop. We've gotten so lucky with the weather today. Yesterday it absolutely poured down and it was super windy. London, baby. When we visited Hyde Park in particular. But today, blue skies, and of course it's the one day where I looked at the weather and thought, it looks cold today, I'll wear a long sleeve. Rookie error, but beautiful weather for our final full day here in London.
Now we are making our way around the Monopoly board on foot, but there are plenty of different ways you can do so. One that I would definitely recommend and that I've done in the past is by one of those open double-decker buses. We will link a few options for these in the description below. Now there are plenty of different musical choices here on West End in London. We went with Wicked because it is a classic.
Now my mum booked our tickets to Wicked a while ago, but one recommendation I do have if you are in London and looking to see a West End show and you are on a budget is to use the app called Today Tix. I've used this app in Melbourne, but I believe it also works for West End and for Broadway if you are in New York. They have daily, what they call rush tickets, where you can get cheaper tickets available at a certain time. You'll get a notification, there'll be a certain allocation, and if you're getting quick, you can get cheap tickets. So they have a whole bunch of shows on there, and that is a great way to see a show if you are on a budget. Guys, we've made it to Leicester Square, and this is really cool. In the actual square itself is where you'll find the ticket booth to pick up any of those tickets to the West End shows. If you'd like to do it in person, they'll show you what's on sale for the day and things like that. But there's also some really cool character statues all around the square. We found Paddington, we found Mr. Bean, Mary Poppins is here, Harry Potter. Very cool photo opportunities, so very cool place to visit, and obviously there are just theatres everywhere. Not all of the West End theatres are here in Leicester Square, they are kind of spread out across the city. For example, where we saw Wicked was at the Apollo Victoria Theatre, which was a bit further south, but this is a very cool square.
So I'm 99% sure that this candy shop's not on the Monopoly board, or why are we here?
We'll add it in, it's fine. It's our Monopoly board.
And we continue our little journey on our Monopoly board. Just outside Leicester Square is Coventry Street, which is a very busy street with lots of different souvenir shops, theatres, a candy shop, and we've just found this cool looking Harry Potter shop too. Stace, do you need this toy?
Nope.
I'm going to be paying for that joke for the next couple of hours, I think. We're making our way to Piccadilly Circus.
We have walked up Coventry Street and made our way to Piccadilly Circus, where many different spots on the board all merge into one. We obviously have Coventry Street, you have Piccadilly, and you have Regent Street. This is a bit of a hub here in London, it's obviously very famous, and we're going to have a wander and explore.
Now, on top of the double-decker buses, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, somewhere else that often comes to mind when you think of London is King's Cross. Yes, it is a train station. Why would you go there? Well, chances are if you're travelling by train, you're going to go through King's Cross at some point anyway. But it is a bit of a tourist attraction in itself. The main station here, it's got plenty of shops to browse in and cool places to eat as well. We've just had some really good Japanese food from a place called Wasabi. Highly recommend. And the first thing that Stace wants to do here at King's Cross Station is look for platform 9 3/4. Who's going to tell her? Is it you guys or is it going to be me? Am I going to have to break this girl's heart? Well guys, I stand corrected. There is in fact a platform 9 3/4.
Don't remember there being a line to get to the platform in the movies?
There is a huge line because it's a photo op spot. But as you would have seen earlier in the video, we went to the Warner Bros. Movies studio tour and we got plenty of photo ops there. And guys, right next to the platform 9 3/4, you will find a Harry Potter shop as well. I feel like this video has been very Harry Potter heavy, and our Road Trip Across Ireland video was also quite Harry Potter heavy. If you haven't seen that video, we'll link it up there. There was a lot more than Harry Potter in that video, but it was pretty Harry Potter heavy. Are you guys Harry Potter fans? Let us know down below and let us know your house. Stace is very ashamed of her house.
I'm not ashamed.
Her attitude towards the colours and the other houses would suggest otherwise. What's your house, Stacey?
Hufflepuff.
Did you see that side glance? I saw it. I am also a Hufflepuff and proud. I know who I am. And outside the station there seems to be a tiny little market with a few market stalls with baked items, desserts, bread. It's pretty cool.
We're in Harrods. We absolutely cannot afford anything in here, but it is a pretty cool department store if I do say so myself.
Egyptian themed walls and escalators, just like the Egyptians had back in the day.
Guys, this is the Christmas bear that Harrods has. It's £40, 80 Australian dollars. Guys, we've now come to Hamleys, which is one of the it is the oldest toy store I've ever been in, and it has 7 floors of non-stop fun. Where have you been all my life, Hamleys? And here at Hamleys, they celebrate Christmas really, really early. It's September. I'm not complaining, I love Christmas. We have now made our way to Carnaby Street on recommendation from my sister. Admittedly, it's not on the Monopoly board, but maybe it should be. This is cool, little like hipster street area. I think it'll be really cool at night because there's some fairy lights up as well. I'm liking it so far. And we've just wandered through a little kind of arcade type lane into Kingly Court, which is this really cool spot with heaps of different food places that you can eat from. I think this is definitely a place that is worth checking out if you're over in London. And when we come back, I think we'll be coming back to eat here.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for a phone call from our next destination. Here it is. Hello? That's weird, they're talking French, but we just went to France. I'll see you soon.